Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a different WoW video. Rather than just those shit posts of random battlegrounds that I do, I'm going to be talking about my 10 years of WoW experience. I've played WoW since I was about 7? I don't know, kindergarten? Whenever it came out in vanilla. So pretty much, in this video, I'm going to be talking about pretty much 10 years of WoW experience going by expansion. Just mentioning what I did throughout all the expansions, and just talking about like real life stuff that's intertwined into WoW, and then just, I don't know, just my experience of WoW over the years. So going over vanilla first, I don't really remember much about vanilla. I remember my dad came home with EverQuest one day, and then I think we begged him for World of Warcraft, because everyone would talk about it on EverQuest. And we begged him for a while until we got it. And I say we because it was me and my two brothers. And so we all played WoW. I think my middle brother had a priest. And then my older brother made a warrior. And then I made a night elf hunter. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. I was killing mobs all the way to like level 45 and then selling white feathers on the auction house for gold. I think I got one mount towards the very end, and, yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I really remember about vanilla. I don't remember what happened. I think my parents were, like, seeing how bad and how negatively WoW impacted us when we were children, and were like, yeah, it's going away. So then I think they just, like, deleted it, and then we didn't know what happened to it, or, I don't know, something like that, and it was just gone, but, so that's vanilla WoW. And then, Burning Crusade. So, Burning Crusade happened when I moved into a different house. I remember I wanted World of Warcraft. I didn't understand that you needed a computer to play World of Warcraft on, really, so I just wanted WoW. So, my mom got me WoW. She got me the box. And, yeah, I stared at that box for fucking months. I remember the box had night elves. It had people. There was a fireball going towards a griffin. And there were people in Stranglethorn all killing a griffin, which doesn't make sense, because that's never been a thing. They were Alliance, too, which really adds on top of it. It was the WoW, the Vanilla and Burning Crusade combo, while there was only 2 expansions out. So, I stare at that box forever. This was back when I had a bunk bed, but on the bottom bunk was a desk. So, I was already in a man cave by, I don't know, the age of Burning Crusade, whenever that was. I'm 21 now, so do the math if you want, 2019, whenever Burning Crusade came out, so. Yeah, I just didn't leave my room for a long time. I made a character once I got a computer. I don't remember what it was some Dell computer that ran WoW, surprisingly. I made a Horde Blood Elf called Zanuck, and you're looking at him. First tune, didn't even get him to max level before the expansion ended. I think I got him to, like, I honestly think 60-ish, maybe. And then Wrath of the Lich King came out. So there's really not too much to talk about this expansion. It was just me, like, I was so fucking clueless in the game. I remember Eastern Plaguelands and Western Plaguelands was, like, the hardest thing for me, and I didn't know what I was doing. I used to also run just for gold, from Stranglethorn all the way to Westfall and just kill crabs and farm the crab meat. And then I'd just auction all that stuff, and that's how I made all of my gold in Burning Crusade. That and running RFC over and over again, and then selling everything for like 1 gold each. Because it worked, I mean, I got gold eventually. I remember also when I was playing this as a child, I had an iHome thing and an iPod. And I'd play Danny California, like that whole album on loop for fucking, I'd say a solid year. I just have that on loop every time. Every time I played the game. And I remember, like, I have memories or nightmares or, like, just drilled into my mind of me playing this guy in Stranglethorn Valley, watching YouTube videos of another paladin, Blood Elf Prot, with Chop Suey music over it in, like, Razorfen Downs. And then I'd also just be running around Stranglethorn doing quests and listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, so that's like the main thing I remember about Burning Crusade. Good times. Oh, and first experience on Moon Guards. On the good old Moon Guards in Burning Crusade, so, you know, fun times and God, that's why I don't go on Moonguard anymore, because you know there's... Oh, God. Gross. Alright, so now we move on to Wrath of Lich King. Everyone knows Wrath of Lich King is by far my favorite expansion. It is just the bee's knees. And it was the bee's knees of my life, I'd say. Like, prime years of just IRO and WoW conversion and, like, mixing here. So, I had an IRO friend that played WoW. I think his computer shit out, and he was talking about how he played WoW, and I mentioned that I play WoW, and we live close to each other, we still live close to each other, and pretty much what happened was we came to the conclusion that we'd share an account. I think this is the account that we shared, technically. Don't ban me, Blizz. Maybe. Maybe you will. I'm trying to think. So I hopped to my brother's server in Wrath of Lich King, and I also made a undead warrior. I'll show you guys the undead warrior that I shared with my friend. I'm pretty sure he's on this server. We named him Old Spice Guy. He's right here. We can log in if you guys want, but God, this guy was a beast. This guy was a fucking legend. So pretty much all we did was we just twinked the shit out of him, because this is when Scarlet Monastery was really broken. You could twink a warrior really, really hard back in the day. So we just did Battlegrounds, really twinked out all the time. And it was super fucking fun. And the thing is, when I was sharing the account, like, I'd log in and he'd be like 3 or 4 levels higher than he normally was. So that was just something, it was really interesting to see. I don't know. It was fun. It was really fucking fun. And I don't regret a single thing about it. But he was just a twinked arms warrior. I got him a glitched two-hander. Back in Wrath of Lich King, there was a glitched two-hander that dropped in Wrath of the Lich King zones that was equipable at level 1, but did Wrath of the Lich King grey damage, so it was really, really broken at lower levels, and you'd be like level 1 and you'd be hitting like hundreds. And this was back before the Cataclysm revamp, so it was really, really broken, and I fucking loved it. I PvP'd so much at lower levels, and I'd run around, and I put Crusader on it as well. I'd run around and just one-shot people that were like 9 levels higher than me, because I'd just be hitting them for like 250, and it was just ridiculous, but it was the best time of my fucking life. Leveling was so fun with this too, like, even though leveling was bad because then I'd go up in levels, then I'd have to get new gear on this guy, because the higher level you are, the less effective the glitch sword was. Even though, I mean, I got levels, I was excited, because no matter what, he'd always be really geared for some reason. I don't know, he was super fun, and I remember my real life friend would, like, come over, and we'd just, like, go in Battlegrounds, and he'd just watch. And we'd, like, switch off and just play the warrior, and he would just annihilate everyone. And this was back when town trees were a thing as well, so there was a lot more depth, I guess, into it. So eventually we got this guy to 60, and this is where I think I got banned. And this was, like, towards the end, or I don't even know what happened to this guy. I think I deleted him or something. I don't know what happened to him, but you can tell I kind of have oldish gear. You'll see he was really twinked. I mean, I really tried to gear this guy out. And he was geared to shit. He had Mongoose on this, I think, yeah. It was crazy, man. I loved it. I remember just running around with this as an arms warrior. Good times, good times. I haven't logged on this guy since then. I restored him, but I haven't logged on to him, really. Another kind of thing I did in Wrath of Lich King, I played with my brother. My brothers, as I mentioned, played Burning Crusade and Wrath of Lich King. They stopped once Cataclysm started, but this is my main in all of Wrath of Lich King. I don't know where my other characters are. I have my Shaman here, but I don't think... I had a Druid, and I had a Hunter. Black Lavender Hunter, and then some Druid. Some Tauren Druid that I had. But there's this guy, and he's the Shaman that I leveled. This is what kind of started my love for Shaman. So, don't have him restored, though. But Death Knight was the main, most of the expansion. My brother raided... God, he was in, like, some really good raiding guild in... I don't even know. I think in Axe he was one of the better guilds, but just like every other Wrath of Lich King guild, his guild tried to merge with another guild, and it fell apart, and then the guild fell apart, and then it was non-existent, so then I think he quit after that. I still played. I played all through Wrath. Leveling as a Death Knight was really fun. I really liked doing Battlegrounds in Wrath of Lich King. Just going over the classes that I twinked out. I had a 19 Hunter Twink, 29 Hunter Twink, 39 Hunter Twink, going Survival. I re-rolled countless Death Knights. I'd make Death Knights, get them to 58, and just spam Battlegrounds over and over and over again until I got out of the level range. And then I'd remake a Death Knight and do the same thing over and over again. And I did that for a solid, like, 2 patches, I'd say. It was fucking crazy. But I was so easily entertained, and Death Knights were so broken in 58 to 59 BGs. Or 50 to 59 Battlegrounds, because everyone else would have, like, 2,000, 3,000 health. And every Death Knight coming out of the Death Knight starting zone would have, like, 5,000 health with just the Death Knight gear. And then 6,000 if you got some Burning Crusade gear as well. So it was really, really fun. God, good times. And this is the main that I stuck with. I leveled him to 80. God, I remember trying to raid and just, like, taking advice from my brother. I got the green Proto Drake from my Oracle Egg first time. Shat my pants. I believe I got hacked in Wrath of the Lich King. I got my account back, obviously. I used to be in a raiding guild. I was actually, like, the top DPS, surprisingly. Keep in mind, I was, like, 11 years old back when this was happening. They'd always try to take me in a raid. I'd always leave in the middle of Morrowgar, because my mom would yell for dinner at the top of her fucking lungs. I got kicked from the guild, no shit. But, God, good memories, really. I remember, I'm trying to think how many fights I went AFK in, just in the middle of it, and then I'd come back and I'd just be kicked. At least 3. I'd have to eat dinner, man. There's no excuse. Couldn't miss dinner. I tried explaining to my mom that I had a raid one time, and she just didn't understand. And then she spit in my food. So, tasted pretty good, though. I remember farming just Storm Peaks for the Time Lost Proto Drake all the time, too. I remember in Wrath of the Lich King as well, I think leveling my Druid, I passed out on the ground, trying to level my Feral Druid to level 20. And I set some guy on follow in Shadowfang Keep, and I got the level, I got 20, but I just fell asleep on the ground. I woke up, and I woke up, logged in just to make sure I got level 20, and then I crawled into bed and fell asleep, so another good time there. I started PvP in Wrath of the Lich King as well. PvP was something I had no clue about what I was doing in Wrath of the Lich King. Well, even though I was a Death Knight, it didn't really matter, because Death Knights just shit on anything they saw. I specifically went Blood just for healing in PvP as well, so. And again, Blood was like, I think it was a tank spec towards the later patches of Wrath of the Lich King, but towards the beginning, it was kind of a DPS spec. There was like, I don't know, I think Frost was the tank spec, I don't know. It was completely fucked over, but it was a mess, but it was a good mess. Wintergrasp, I remember seeing Shadowmourne in Wintergrasp for the first time. I remember going in Wintergrasp and running Vault of Archivon on all of my 80 tunes, which was Death Knight, Druid, Shaman, Hunter. And I used to raid lead, believe it or not. Like an 11-year-old trying to raid lead was fun. And it was nice because Vault of Archivon, like, so many people ran it just because it was such a necessity that people knew the fights and you wouldn't even have to explain it to them. And then if they didn't, you just kicked them and then you replaced them. But good fucking times, dude. Farming herbs and in minerals, all in Wintergrasp. I remember I didn't know how to farm gold, so I just farmed herbs and minerals, and that's all I did. And then, towards the end of the expansion, all I did was farm herbs, mine, and do, Battlegrounds. And, I mean, this is like the gear that I had on this guy. Like, I haven't logged in on this guy in a while. Flags, okay, well, I'm not logging in. I'm not logging in on him then. But yeah, this is the gear that I had. He was at Blood Elf, and then I changed him to a Tauren. You'll see he's still in the Vashj'ir, and that's because it's the shittiest fucking zone of the game. I remember in Wrath of the Lich King, it was when I started leveling a lot of tunes as well. I leveled a lot of tunes on, I think Thrall was a server I leveled a lot of tunes on, but heirlooms were so nice because they just increased leveling time, and then they were just really, really overpowered as well. So, I remember trying to tank instances as well, back in the day. Fun times, fun times. You had to get enough defense rating for that. Dungeon Finder came out, favorite expansion by far. Yeah, that's it. Rip Glyphs. Rest in peace. That's my last note on Wrath of the Lich King. Rest in peace, Glyphs. Your traits now, sadly, but 10 times shittier. Moving on to Cataclysm, guys. Talents were halved. Talent point every 2 levels. The tree was no longer the same. I'm pretty sure I leveled my Shaman first. But he's not here. Or he was on the other server. Yeah, he was on the other server that I was just on. His name was Pork Chops. I think I leveled my Death Knight. I got him in Vashj'ir. Was like, fuck this. And then I went to Vashj'ir again for some reason. So that was on my Shaman. And then I got really bored on my Shaman. Came back to Thrall, which was my OG server. Leveled my Paladin. So in Cataclysm, guys. Prot Pally. was completely fucking broken, because Holy Power was an incredible thing for a small amount of time. One prot had a resource of Holy Power, they could Word of Glory themselves for, I'd say, all their health, all the time. So, from the level bracket I'd say maybe 60 to 69, all the way to 80, I think. I just did Battlegrounds. I PvP'd like no other, and I'd 3v1 people left and right. This was the biggest dick character I've probably ever fucking made. He's pretty much a god. At least through the 60 to 80 zone, like, I think I played a solid half of the expansion just running through Battlegrounds and just 1v3ing people. And I was so satisfied, and I never had an urge or, like, anything else to just play any other class than just get on my prot pally and destroy people. And I'd get, like, I remember getting the 60 honor level gear. I got the 70 honor level gear. I think I even got some Wrathful pieces because I had so much honor. Oh, good times, good times. It was... God, I'm getting a little chub here, Jesus Christ. But yeah, they just had crazy heals and damage back in the day, and once I hit 80, I mean, obviously I hit the Cataclysm zones and I went red. And this is where, like, the expansion just kind of slowly went downhill for me. After I, like, twinked and everything in Cataclysm, I mean, I didn't like what they did with talents at all. I fucking hated that they got rid of, like, all of our talents, but... So I got this guy at 85. I farmed Whiptail and Oldham for fucking days. I did 2v2 with a friend. I know his real name. I don't remember his World of Warcraft name, but he was like 17 or 18, and I was, what, like 13? So he'd just yell at me all the time. It was pretty great. It was a great learning experience. It really shaped me into the man I am today. I'd pretty much be under verbal abuse every day for at least a year, but I met a few other people. I met Nacho, and I don't remember what his WoW name either was, but I remember Nacho. Had a deep voice, wanted to be like him, and he was a good friend for a while. And then, pretty much the squad was the guy who yelled at me, Nacho, and that other guy. And that was like all of Cataclysm. A lot of it was 2v2 with the guy who yelled at me, which was a mage, and we played Ret, Frost Mage. And he'd always yell at me because I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing, and I really didn't. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And he'd always say I was shit. Really rings true today. Anyway, my brothers quit. I watched Soda Pop and a shit ton in Cataclysm, and this is where I'd say I took a lot of inspiration when it comes to YouTube and stuff. Just, like, I don't know, just seeing Soda Pop, and he made WoW pretty fun. And this is when, like, everyone was starting to loose open WoW as well, because Cataclysm was, like, BFA before BFA, and, like, Warlords of Draenor before Warlords of Draenor, but... yeah, my brothers quit, talents were fucked. I farmed Ember Silk for days. Good times. I made a druid just for Soda. That's this guy right here. You're welcome, Soda. Tolbarad was shit, in my opinion. Raid Finder was released. I used to AFK, so fun fact. When Raid Finder was released, I was pretty fat. Pretty fat IRL. And I wanted to lose weight, so what I'd do was I'd go into Raid Finder. And I remember doing this on my Lions tunes, because I leveled the Lions towards the end of Cataclysm. So... Oh wait, they're on Darkspear. But I remember queuing up for Raid Finder, and I'd be, you know, in the Raid Finder queue, and I'd get into a raid, and once I got in the raid, I'd put someone on follow, I'd make sure not to get kicked, I'd attack the boss once, and then I'd AFK and, you know, work out in my room. This is when I was, like, really young. And by work out, I just mean, like, any physical movement to not be obese. So, that's that. Raid Finder's a joke, in other words. That was the translation. AFK Dragon Soul like it was my fucking job. I leveled Alliance halfway through the expansion, like pretty much all of these guys. If I go through all of these guys, I think this guy was in Cata. I think this guy was in Cata. This guy was in Cata. I think I made this guy in Cata. Maybe this guy as well. I know Warrior and Mage were for sure. But, yeah. Good times. That was Cataclysm, and you'll see in Cataclysm I got... This is where, like, I started the kind of, the crack fiend thing of leveling all of my tunes to max level. This is when it started. And then Mop's really when it started to take off. And this is also when the game started to go to shit, in my opinion, so this is definitely going to be a lot shorter than the previous expansions. We got pandas. That fucking sucked. I was pissed about that. Talents were gone. In with the shit talents that are still in the game. So at least in Cataclysm we had some sort of talents. And now, in in MOP we had, what, I think 6 rows of talents with 3 choices each, so what? Good old 18 choices of customization, but really 6. But not even 6, probably just, I don't know. You guys get the fucking point. You know the shit show the talents are. I leveled all Alliance. I mean, you'll see here. I leveled all these guys. Leveled this guy, leveled this guy. I think I leveled this guy as well. Leveled this guy. Leveled Block, leveled Warrior, leveled Monk, leveled this guy, leveled this guy. I think all of these guys were 90 in MOP. And this is when the addiction really started of just like capping tunes weekly and just having everything max and every class max, because I didn't know what else to do and I was really getting bored of single class gameplay. That's another video. I made a Monk. Monk was the twink. This guy shit on people. I remember one-shotting people with Rising Sun Kick. This was also with my IRL friend as well. We had a thing where we just try to twink as much as possible, and we still kind of try to do that, but not as much, but we twinked this guy to shit. In the 30 to 39 bracket, the 40 to 49 bracket, he was incredibly broken, because Rising Sun Kick would just completely one-shot someone's health, and you'd just be gone instantly. Their healing was ridiculous, their mobility was ridiculous, just everything about Monks and MOP was fucking stupid. So that's why I did that. Conquest capping was introduced. I remember farming gold, and then willing to pay people gold to carry me in 2s, just so I could get easy caps. A lot of them sucked, so I really never got capped, but sometimes I did. And then this was vendors were still in the game, so you could you'd conquest cap, you'd get points, and then you'd actually spend the points on gear that you could purchase and target. Rest in peace. F for respects. Honor and conquest caps, you could buy honor gear too, but that's fucking out of the game. Good times there. I remember gearing my people just through PvP, and it was really nice, because I fucking hated MOP PvE, but a lot of people liked it. Wanted everything max. Game was changing for the worse, in my opinion. I was gold farming a lot, I was weekly capping a lot. I farmed a Spectral Tiger. I got Alchemy on my Hunter, on one of my tunes. I think it was on Kel'Thuzad. This is where I got gold capped for some reason. I leveled an Alliance on Kel'Thuzad, just one Alliance for some reason. And I think in MOP, what I'd do was, yeah, in MOP I'd farm Blackwing Lair. And there was a point in Blackwing Lair, like, where the Drakes are once you get past the hatching room, where you could gather all the groups, kill everyone except for the big dragon guys, and they'd all reset and respawn, but you could still loot all the trash that you killed. So I did that on this guy, and I just did alchemy on this guy until I was able to buy a Spectral Tiger, because I was selling transmog and stuff, and I was disenchanting all the rune cloth that I was getting into, I think, glowing dust or something, and then selling that on the auction house, and I had like thousands and thousands of that. So it was pretty much just constant gold income. So I got a Spectral Tiger in MOP, and everyone's always asking me when I got my Spectral Tiger. It was in MOP. Really did nothing but farm Blackwing Lair. I didn't do PvE. I went to PvP pretty heavily in MOP, obviously, as I said before on that other server. I played a lot. Played a lot of classes and a lot of tunes in Arena, even though I fucking sucked. I did Siege of Org once on LFR, didn't really like it. And this is where everything went max. And then Warlords of Draenor came out, and we all know how that went. I literally tried to write about Warlords of Draenor, and I sat at my paper for like 15 minutes trying to think about notable things that I liked about Warlords, and it's not a whole lot. Worst expansion. I'd say BFA possibly on par with it at this point, but I played for gold. As a lot of you know, the garrison in Warlords of Draenor is very, very lucrative. You could farm missions that give you 5,000 gold, 15,000 gold daily. If you're lucky. You could have multiple tunes on that, so you could be making upwards of 100,000 every login. If you maximized your garrison in Warlords of Draenor, you probably could have capped out on gold countless times, and if you saved all of it, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get all my characters set up, and all the garrisons, and this is on the Darkspear server as well. I was trying to get all my characters geared out, and, you know, farming LFR for the gear. I don't think I did PvE or PvP until the very end, but I pretty much just tried setting up all these guys in the garrison. And was farming transmogs and all that. And that's what I did in the most part in Warlords of Draenor. I did Ashran a few times towards the end. Didn't really like it. I think it was like the best way to get gear towards the end of the expansion was just doing Ashran for Conquest or something like that, and then buying Conquest gear or something, but was boring. I barely remember anything. I farmed Cata raids. If you farmed Cata raids in Warlords because there was nothing else to do, and it generated, I think, 7,000 gold per Cata, or 7,000 gold if you ran all the Cata raids, just liquid gold in your bank. So, I used to do that a lot in all my tunes, and it was really, really lucrative as well. Yeah, let's not talk about Warlords of Draenor anymore. Let's talk about Legion. You all know what Legion did, guys. We all know. This is where I started making WoW videos, actually. I think 7.1 is when I started making WoW videos. Going into Legion, I wanted to make a Demon Hunter, my main. I also rerolled Horde. I fucking hate Alliance. I realized in the LFRs of all these Alliance guys that Alliance were fucking dumb, so I left. And also, all the people that I PvP'd with were just really retarded, so... made this gem right here, Paradise Nuts. I don't think it was my main. I think I leveled this guy first. Maybe I leveled this guy. I don't even remember how I leveled in order here, but... Made this guy. I think I made these guys towards the end of Warlords, actually. A few of them. And then I leveled the rest. I think that's how it went down. But anyway, I made this guy. I wanted him to be my main. I got this guy to max level. Was like, I'm really just gonna try and make sure I get everything max level. So that's when that kind of really set off for this expansion, and that's when the whole thing that I do, I guess. That's what a lot of people label or, like, associate with me, is that I just have everything max level. That's when it really started. I mean, I think 7.1 came out. I think by 7.2 I had everything max level. Content started in 7.1. By content, I mean YouTube videos. Really hasn't changed much, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna try and hopefully branch out in the less shitty YouTube videos. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this is where this started. And now, let's zoom to BFA, because we all know what happened in Legion. Artifacts. No, I don't think anything else happened for me. I just leveled all these guys and got them really fucking geared. And that's the same thing I'm doing now, guys. I got all these guys to 120 before the first patch came out. I think I got all these guys 330 item level before the first patch came out, which was a goal of mine, and now they're all 350 plus item level before the next patch comes out, or the next gear patch. Hopefully once the next gear patch comes out, I'll have all these guys at least like 390 plus item level, which will be really nice, if not 400. But yeah, that's my 10 years of WoW experience, / 10 years of, you know, not wasting my life away, because I don't think I wasted my life at all. I think I invested my life into something that I enjoy. So, anyway, that's it, guys. That's the video. If you guys liked videos like this, where I just kind of rant for 30 fucking minutes, then feel free to leave a like. I'm planning on doing storytime videos, just in Battlegrounds, so we'll see how that goes. But again, if you guys liked it, thumbs up, subscription, bell thing, thumbs up, Twitch, yeah. I'll see you guys some other time.